Hello and welcome back to Foos Entertainment for my next review from this really nice Mission Impossible 4K box set. And that of course is 2006 Mission Impossible 3. Alright, well let's get the plot synopsis out of the way, then I'll go into my opinion of the film, my history with it. Retired from active duty and training recruits for Impossible Mission Force, Agent Ethan Hunt Tom Cruise faces the toughest foe of his career, Owen Davian, an international broker of arms and information who is cunning as he is ruthless. Davian emerges to threaten Hunt in his all that holds dear, including a woman Hunt loves. And that's basically pretty simple. And it doesn't give much away, which I like. That way, for the few of you that haven't seen the film, you can actually go ahead and watch it and enjoy it. Alright. Well, first off, I saw this film, I believe, 2 times at the cinema back in 2006. And I can also say, for the longest time, this was my absolute favorite Mission Impossible film. Just with more recent movies, that has changed. I think this was a perfect combination of 1 and 2. But it also raised the bar of what a Mission Impossible film can be. And this is one was directed by J.J. Abrams, the director of the Star Trek reboot trilogy, also known as the Calvin Timeline, as well as many other very, very good movies. He also was director of Star Wars The Force Awakens and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Very brilliant director. Again, produced by Tom Cruise and starring Tom Cruise, of course. This movie just has it all. It was a real fun film. When I first saw it, it's a fun film today. Of course, I watched it last night. We're watching the 4th film after this review. Which means you're going to be getting 1 review tonight, not 2. Sorry about that. The history on home media. My first experience on home media with this movie was DVD. And the DVD did not disappoint, but it's definitely not my preferred way of watching a movie. Then I got the Blu-ray, and I might add, this box set does come with the regular Blu-rays as well, which I definitely will say are a disappointment compared to the 4K Blu-rays in this set. It definitely did look better. The audio was slightly better, but it was still a fixed bit rate. You know how fixed bitrate audio sound presentations are. There's a reason why streaming does not have an edge at all over physical media, and that's part of it right there. Fixed bit rates. Fixed bit rates are a sin of audio in a movie. You do not want your bit rate fixed. You want your bit rate fluctuated. That way, no matter what's going on in the movie or TV show, the intensity rises or it lowers based off of what goes on. You can't do that with a fixed bit rate. Which brings us into the quality of the film. The 4K quality, how did it enhance the movie? Well, it enhanced it a hell of a lot. The HDR10 really pops out on this one. There's a lot of very good use of colors. They're brighter. They have deeper blacks. The movie just looks gorgeous. It's never looked this gorgeous before. It probably didn't even look this gorgeous when the film was actually made, because 4K cameras were not used back then. In fact, in 2006, I don't believe that full HD cameras were used. I believe that was a modification because Blu-ray had just come out in 2006. It wasn't the norm in 2006. The norm was DVD. So it was probably recorded with 720p cameras. which is just basic high definition cameras, as opposed to Full HD, which is 1080, and 4K, which is of course 2160. And of course there are 8K cameras and stuff now too, but we don't have any physical media in that type of format. Alright, the audio. They pushed it up from Dolby Digital fixed bitrate audio, which they had on the DVD and the Blu-ray, to a Dolby True HD 5.1 audio sound presentation, and this definitely brings a much earned and much needed life into the sound presentation of the film that was not there before, except for maybe when you went to theaters and watched it. And its main theatrical presentation was Digital Theater Sound, DTS standard, in Dolby Digital. But as people know, even back then, what they mean by Dolby Digital in theaters is Dolby True HD, a non-fixed bit rate, fluctuating bit rates of low numbers, mid numbers, and high numbers fluctuating based off of what's going on in the film, which is exactly what you have here with the Dolby True HD sound presentation. And that's kind of what you had with the previous film as well. Obviously, with the first film, that was originally in Dolby Surround Stereo. It was not in 5.1 audio by any real, measure. It's not like what it is on that disc, and that definitely breathed life into it as well. But this one definitely, I think it stands out because I've seen this film so many times. I heard things I haven't heard before. And what's cool about this box set is I may have watched these movies and reviewed them on this channel before, but this is my first time watching these films in 4K. So I'm actually watching these movies before I'm reviewing them. And so you have a very fresh perspective. That's not always the case, because often I watch movies over and over and over in a new format, and I get used to it. That's not the case with this. This is literally the first time that I'm watching these in 4K. And I did that by design. I wanted to do a return to series on this, as well as a few other franchises. Now, that said, I will not be reviewing all the James Bond movies. I will be reviewing the 5 newest James Bond films in 4K. But, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to be had about the 4K format and how it breathes life into very good films that I have reviewed, and it's nice to return to them and have a new perspective and a new opinion of the film. Because my opinions of a lot of these films has actually changed over the years. Now I get to really, truly re-experience them in a new way with this 4K format. So that's just why it's such a fun thing to do. That's pretty much Mission Impossible 3. Now, is there any interesting trivia about Mission Impossible 3? Let's see. Well, there's no, behind the scenes are actors being considered for other roles and such, like it was in the second film, nor throwbacks to the TV series with characters returning from the TV show like you had with Mission Impossible. This one is kind of more kept in its own world. But I can definitely say that this film kind of, in a small way, launched the careers of a couple of A-class actors that we got used to after Mission Impossible 3. Now, of course, would be Maggie Q. He would go on to playing the American-Canadian version of Lethen Nikita in the TV series Nikita. And, of course, how we have seen her in films like Priest with Paul Bettany, the Blumhouse remake of the old 70s fantasy horror supernatural show Fantasy Island, and of course much more recently is a film that I probably might actually review this month because this definitely has a lot of spy stuff in it. Although it's more of an assassin movie, it definitely has that tongue-in-cheek of being a spy film as well, and that, of course, would be 2021's The Protege with Michael Keaton. Yeah, launched her career pretty damn well. Another one would be Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, he really wasn't known at all around the time. Went on to star in a historical Dark Age TV series. I forget the name of it, but it takes place during like the Roman times. And he's the main star of that, and that show went on forever. Won a lot of rewards. Forgot what it's called though. He also would play the only TV series version of Count Dracula in the TV series Dracula. He also today is a very, very overworked direct-to-video or to streaming services action hero in a whole series of movies. But also he stretches out quite a bit by doing horror films and thrillers as well. Very, very gifted Scottish actor. Actually, is he Scottish or Irish? Yeah, sorry. Irish. Very, very gifted Irish actor. And believe it or not, he actually is one of my picks to be the next James Bond. Because take a look at his entire catalog and take a look at how he carries himself. He has the tropes to be a James Bond. And doesn't really play along with that too much in this movie, Mission Impossible 3, but he did in later films he's made. Especially more recent ones, like, for example, Wife Like or Dangerous Game. This guy definitely has the ability to stretch. And that makes him a good candidate. And yeah, it kind of launched the careers of those two. It definitely made the star of Felicity, the TV series Felicity, forget her name, I think it's like Carol Russell, a more serious actress to actually pay attention to. Now, that's about all there's to say about it. Mission Impossible 3 from 2006. If you haven't watched it, check it out, and I will see you guys next time for my review of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Until then.